Hi guys, welcome back. It's Amanda. I haven't been able to paint for a long time. I have been under the weather for a while and I've had other stuff going on. And I have been moved out of the living room until the holidays are over. So I'm going to see if I'm able to paint on this little table. I have these placemats here that I bought at the dollar store a long time ago. And instead of doing drip smashes with my leftover paint, I'm going to leave my drips on here and let them dry so that I can see if I can get any kind of skins that I can do anything with. So that's new for me, that's different for me, so I'm going to try that. I may not like it, I may end up going back to doing drip smashes with my leftover paint, I don't know. And today the colors I'm going to be using are this Phthalo Green from Liquitex Basics and Liquitex Basics Napthol Crimson, Master's Touch Emerald Green, and that's probably upside down, I'm sorry, and Master's Touch Rose Bright Red. And what I'm going to do is layer those with my titanium white. This is Liquitex Basics, and metallic gold and metallic silver. And for my base coat, what I'm going to use is this Master's Touch titanium white that I mixed with a Floetrol and Minwax satin varnish mixture. I used 3 ounces of Floetrol and 1 ounce of the Minwax satin varnish, and I put that in a bottle together and I shook it up, and then I used 2 ounces of that mixture and put it in another bottle and added an ounce of my titanium white and shook that up. So that's what I'm going to use for my base coat. I got that idea from one of Fiona's videos where she put it down like her white with her satin varnish mixture, and then she did a flower dip on top, and then she waited to see what kind of effects happened from the satin varnish. And I think that's actually one of the paintings that I purchased in her last auction, so I'm going to give that a try with my layered flip cup and see if I can get any kind of satin varnish effects come through my painting. I don't know if it'll work or not since I'm doing a flip cup and then stretching my paint, but we'll see. For now, I'm just going to layer my cup. I normally fast forward this part, but since I have my colors in squeeze bottles today, it shouldn't take very long. I'm going to start with a little bit of titanium white, and this white is just Liquitex Basics white, titanium white, Floetrol, and water. And then I'm going to use this Phthalo Green. And after that, I'm going to do some, I don't know. I'm going to do a little bit of white again, but not completely cover it. And then I'm going to do gold. My bottles have sat for so long, they're getting crusty around the edges. I'm going to add some gold. And then I'm going to use my crimson. I was worried since I just mixed up these reds and greens, I was worried the consistency might not be very good, but they seem okay for now. A little bit of white. And then I'm going to add some silver, metallic silver. And then I'm going to use the emerald green. Some white. Some gold. Some rose bright red. Whoops. And some white. Excuse me. And some white. Okay, now I'll start with my second layer after I wipe my hands off a little bit. I forgot to mention also that whenever I mixed these larger bottles, I added 8 drops. Whenever I mixed these 2 bottles, I added 8 drops of silicone in each one. And whenever I mixed these 2 smaller ones, I added 4 drops of silicone in each one. My silver, my gold, and my white over here don't have any silicone though. You can already see it starting to make cells in there from that silicone. Sorry, I'm in such a small space I have to keep reaching for everything. I can't have everything on the table in front of me. Now what I need to do is decide, I think I'm going to go the same order, but this time I don't think I'm going to put white between the layers. So I'm just going to go phthalo green, metallic gold, crimson, metallic silver, emerald green. I meant to go in the other order with the golds and the silvers though, I forgot. And metallic gold, red, bright rose red, and I think I forgot to put silver on top of that last time. And I will add a little bit more white on top. Okay, and that's about enough paint. So I'm going to move these bottles out of the way because my table is so tiny. What I'm going to do is set this cup up here while I layer my base coat. As you can see, the paper towels I've been using already have paint on them. I reuse paper towels just like I reuse everything else. I save them and that paint will dry on there and I can use them again next time. I don't like to waste or throw anything away if I can get away with it. If I can keep it, if I can reuse it for something later, I will. These are fresh gloves. I do have a whole bag full of already used gloves, but while I have some new ones, I'm just going to go ahead and use them. And then I'll start on my previously used gloves and use them over again. Okay, now I need to test the consistency of this. I haven't added any water to it yet, so I don't know what the consistency, I don't know if it needs water or not. So I'm going to pour it out, see how that spreads. I think that might be okay. We'll just put some more on and see what happens when I try to spread it. I think it may be okay if my base is a little bit thicker too, because I really want that satin varnish effect to be able to come through. So I think I'm going to put on more than I normally do for my base coat too. Normally I just try to wet the canvas so that my paint will spread better. But since I'm looking, okay, I have to thin that a little bit. I have one. See, I have distilled water in this bottle and I can just squirt a little bit in there. Not even a quarter of an ounce, I don't think. And I'll shake this up and see if the consistency is better. I can see all kinds of cells happening in my layered cup. I kind of like whenever I have silicone in my paint and I like to layer my cup first because I like to let it sit a little bit before I use it. because I think that helps me get more cells that way. And then after I flip it, I let it sit for a few minutes. I think that helps, like I said, I think it helps me get more cells. But now, like I was saying, I think I want a little bit more on my base coat than what I normally do, since I'm hoping to get some of those satin varnish effects. Normally I just try to wet my paint, or wet my canvas so the paint will slide on there. But this time I'm looking for effects, so I need more paint. I want more paint. This is still thicker than what I normally use, but I'm hoping that that will help me with what the effects I'm looking for. I'm curious to see how it turns out since it's thicker than what I'm used to. And I normally fast forward this part for you, but I don't think I'm going to fast forward all of it today. So if this is boring, you can fast forward yourself. This is way different consistency than what I'm used to, especially for my base coat. I'm curious to see what difference it will make being thick like that. If I don't like it, I can thin it next time. Now, I'm going to flip my cup. If I can figure out how. It's been a long time since I've done this. I never get it in the center, no matter how much I want to. As close as I can get, I think. It's pretty close. Alright. That's pretty close. We'll just leave it there. Okay, I'm back. I turned the camera off for a few minutes and let the cup sit. I'm going to lift it here in just a second and we'll see what we get. I love the inside of the cup after it sits like that for a while. I hope you can see that. I like to save what's left in case I need some more to finish it off, or in case if I don't need any more to finish it off, what I do is I keep it for eventually later. I combine all of my leftover cups and see what I can get. That's really pretty. That's giving me a lot of cells. That's from all the silicone and the 2 greens and the 2 reds, I think. I can see some bubbles popping, so maybe I will just torch a little bit. Pop some more bubbles. See if I have any bubbles on the white a little bit. I did. Okay, I'm just doing the torch right now to pop any bubbles since I have just shaken all these paints. Just gently stretch it out a little bit. I've been wanting to make coasters for my grandmother on tiles because she has seen some of the coasters that I did whenever I first was starting out and she liked them, and her favorite color is green. So then I was trying to think of something that goes well with green, so I picked red. And then I thought of maybe silver and gold for some metallic accents. But it turns out I've waited so long that I was going to make them for her for Christmas, but I've waited so long that it's too late for me to do coasters and have the paint cure and then resin them and have the resin cure. So instead I thought I would try a painting in those colors just to see how they came out. And it just so happens that it's the holiday season and red and green are very popular Christmas colors or Yule colors or solstice colors. Excuse me. I've caught a cough from my family. I like to stretch very slowly. I don't know why, I just do. I noticed over in like this section there's like a darker band of color. I don't know, I can't tell if it's kind of bluish or if it's kind of blackish, or maybe it's kind of purplish. I'm not sure. It's very interesting. I'm just trying to slowly spread the paint around before I start going over any corners or anything. Whoops, that's going faster than I wanted it to. It's like in a big bubble unto itself. It's going over a little bit over here. So now I've stretched it to a lot of the sides, so I'll torch again. Just because I know there are air bubbles. You can see all kinds of little pinhole bubbles popping. Okay. I have so much paint, and the paint is kind of thick on top of that. Sorry, I'm kicking either the camera or the light. Not used to my space being so small. What was I saying? I have so much, like such a thick layer of paint that I don't know if I'm going to get any effects from the satin varnish underneath or not that's mixed in with my white. I'll have to tilt some paint off and see what we get after that. I think I'm going to go that way first, just because this section, this part here is what I think I like the least, so I'm going to go that corner and then that corner and then spread out the rest of what we have. And I didn't get out my corner catcher today. I've noticed that my paint kind of pulls around and swirls at the edges whenever I use my corner catcher. So I decided not to use it this time and just to tilt the paint off instead. Being in such a smaller workplace on a smaller work table, it might give a much better view for the camera of what I'm doing. I don't know if I'm going to get that corner very well. I can always touch up the corners and the sides later. So I'm not too worried about not getting that corner just yet. Now what I'm looking for is to bring the paint back a little bit. I may have used too much white. Here, let's turn it around. These, I need to tape these things down if I'm going to continue using these placemats, because they keep moving on me. I think maybe my paint was too thick. I need to add more water to my paints that I just mixed up, because they're moving very slowly. And I didn't get that corner either, but that's okay. We'll touch up the corners when we're done. Sorry, I think I had that out of the frame. I'm not super great at stretching. Well, I've been out of practice for a while too. Haven't painted for a while. Try to get this last corner. Here, maybe if I turn it this way. Yeah, this is moving so slow. It's either because my base coat was really thick or my other paints must be thicker than what I thought they were. I know you can't see that. I'm so sorry. Didn't get that corner at all either, but that's okay. I'm going to stretch back that way and kind of even it out a little bit. I know that doesn't make any sense. But I do think something was too thick, whether it's from the base coat being thick or the paint itself being too thick. I think maybe they're all too thick. I'll try it again soon if I can. Thin them out a little bit. Okay, now that kind of like that. I see that there's a little bit of gold mixed with that red through there. It's kind of orangey, kind of looks flame-like over here. I'm not sure where the purplish color came from. Evidently it came from the red and the green, like red, white, and green together. I'm glad it didn't make brown. I'm glad it made purple instead of brown. I think I'll torch again and just see if I have any bubbles. I don't know if that helps bring that satin varnish from the base coat up at all, but I think that everything, I don't think I'm going to get any effects from that base coat because I think my paints are all too thick. Okay, I am going to scrape under the sides and touch up my corners with what I get off the sides. I need a little bit more red for that. I don't see a lot of red. I wonder if I can try to tilt over this corner just a little bit more. No, I don't want to do that. There's some red. I need red paint to fix that corner. I know you can't see what I'm talking about. Right there, where it's red there, I need red paint to touch that side up. That's not gonna do it, is it? That's gonna do it. Put a little bit of that green in there. There, and that'll just run down over the sides and it'll look better. And then it I need to find the color to go over here too to fix this corner. I see it, but I can't get to it. They'll go down over the sides and it'll look better whenever it dries. That was red, but it was mostly green. Why don't I take, oops, put a dab of red on the table. Put those two reds on the table, and then where I've dipped in other stuff, and then dip in that a little bit. Like, why am I not getting that up? I need a little bit more, I think. Take a little bit of green and a little bit of that red and touch up that side. I think that's it. I'm not sure if I like it or not. I think I do. It's not what I was hoping for or what I was expecting. I didn't really have any expectations. I was hoping for some lacing from the satin varnish mixed in with my base coat. I didn't get that, but I did get some red and green and a little bit of other colors. Like where the red and the green and the gold and the silver all mixed together. I got some cells. They're not perfectly round, but I normally don't get the perfectly round cells because I don't pay much attention to what it looks like when I stretch. I just go for the stretching. I'm going to lift this up. I do have these blobs all over the table. Normally I would take my index card or cardstock and I would dip in those and do what I call drip smashes and cover my cardstock with paint so that I can attach them to greeting cards or use them as gift tags sometime. But today I'm going to let those dry and see what kind of skins I can peel off of there and see if I can use them to make any jewelry or anything. If I don't like how that works out, then next time I will do drip smashes again. I'm just going to let this dry and I have to, oh, whoops. I saw a bare spot. I'm going to let this dry and see if anything changes as it dries. I don't know that it will. Just going to leave all of this paint on the table like I said. Go scrape around the edges. I'll scrape around that edge whenever I turn the camera off. I don't know how it will, if it will change at all while it dries, and I really don't think so. Let me know what you think. Let me know in the comments below if there are any colors you'd like to see me try. And thanks as always for watching. In the new year I hope to be back to doing 2 painting videos a week and 1 oracle card video a week. I probably won't do that many more painting videos until the new year because I don't have much space in here, but this did work out okay. So I may have another one up for you next week, I hope. Have a blessed day and have a blessed holiday. Thanks for watching. Bye. Here is a close-up. There will be a little bit of glare from my lights. I'm sorry. Hopefully whenever I move all the way around the painting, you can see past the glare. Might be going too fast. I love all these little cells in here. I can see the shimmer a little bit from the gold and the silver. I don't know if you can notice that or not. That looks like some kind of a little creature right there. You can see the reflection of my ring light. I need a new light, a better light. I don't know if you can see that without glare up there or not. I love this gold band here where it made kind of an orangey flame-like color. That's where I couldn't get the corner very well, but I think it'll be okay once it dries. And there you have it. There's my Christmas piece. Thanks for watching. Bye. Here is a video of the painting dry. Today's Friday. I painted this on Wednesday. I'm sorry you can hear my dog's feet. And I'm also sorry that I've lost my voice. But I wanted to add a little bit of a dry look at it to the end of the video.